welcome to yet another episode of iThrive's Geeky podcast. So I think this is the 6th episode that we are here. And if you are new to this, let me tell you that we, the R&D team, that is research and development team of iThrive, we try to look for answers, we ponder over research questions and we find out answers for them and share it with you. So imagine if you're on a nature walk, soaking in some sunlight and you're just mindful in that moment, but sometimes you ponder about some things, right? A question pops in your mind, you think over it, okay, why this happens and what can be done about this? So if your questions have anything to do with health and nutrition, we are here to help you answer them. Okay, so in the last episode, we were with Apeksha Chandurkar, a functional nutritionist at iThrive. So we were looking at effective strategies to like how we can improve our water intake, right? Today we have with us Sahara Sarang, researcher at iThrive. And today we are going to learn about tea and coffee and does it have any genetic predisposition on our bodies, right? Hi Sahara.
Hello. So I am Sahara Sarang. So we actually are friends since 3 years. We have studied genetics together, and today we both are here highlighting some important genetic facts, which I feel is really amazing.
Right. So I'm truly glad that we are here on this podcast, especially on this topic. So, okay, so the title goes that does tea or coffee have any genetic predisposition, right? So, let's start with breaking down what genetic predisposition is.
Okay, so the term genetic predisposition is usually used to describe people's genetic tendency to develop certain disease. So these medical conditions can be the cause of certain gene mutations, which subsequently get passed from parents to their kids. That means they are hereditary.
Right. Okay. So any genetic tendency to develop a disease is genetic predisposition.
Right.
Okay. So can you tell us something more about this topic? What all are we going to uncover here?
So as we all know that people across the world consume caffeine in the form of tea or coffee, right? And several people are addicted to caffeine. So which makes me think that whether this consuming high amount of caffeine actually has some genetic influence or not. And even there are certain environmental factors which may be contributing for the same.
Okay, right. So what I have studied and what I have heard is there are various genes that play a role in caffeine metabolism, and I know for the fact that if we both drink the same amount of coffee, let's say 1 cup, but it will have varying results on our body, like we'll show various effects or symptoms depending on our genetic profile, right?
Yeah, exactly. And surprisingly, I have also came across certain studies which actually says that the amount of coffee you drink is actually influenced by both hereditary and environmental.
Okay.
Of course, there are environmental factors such as culture, geographical locations, age, sex, and whether that person is smoking tobacco or not. But apart from this, it is also hereditary. That is, if the parents is consuming caffeine in form of tea or coffee in really high amount, there is a chance that their kids might also get that habit of consuming high caffeine.
Okay, so it is translated through genes.
Right.
Right. And do you also observe anything to do with like the caffeine present in tea? Does it show the same effect?
So there are several studies which actually focuses on coffee consumption rather than tea, because tea has less amount of caffeine in it, right?
Okay, so yeah, like even I observe nowadays that many people are shifting from tea to coffee, right? And yes, whenever we hear the term coffee, we hear caffeine. Yeah. Also, I think there are various different types of teas. So when we talk about tea, there are herbal teas, there are different herbs that are used in the teas, and sometimes there is milk or sugar added to it. So I think that would also make some difference. Right. Okay. So as you said, like there is effect. Like the effect is translated genetically, so it is determined through our genes, and also you mentioned the term environment.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
This the effect of our nutrition on genes is called nutrigenomics.
Okay. Yes. So I was aware about this, But you also said that the amount we drink, like amount of caffeine we consume, is also, like it is vice versa. So it is
Right.
determined by our
Yeah.
genes.
So the effect of genes on our response to nutrition is that term is actually said to be nutrigenetics.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, the other way around, like we often, only focus on one part of it,
Yeah.
and it is mostly like most of the times it is both ways. So it's great to understand the entire mechanism and how it works. Also, like, did you come across anything new when you were searching for this?
So when I was going through this research papers related to caffeine effect on genetics, I came across certain effects of caffeine on human body. So it has been shown that people who have tendency to drink high amount of caffeine might have some gene mutations
Okay.
in some metabolic enzymes, which can give rise to several diseases or dysfunctions, including anxiety, problem with sleep, and
Yes.
also muscular dysfunctions, etc. So that was actually something really new and surprising for me, because this coffee or a tea is considered to be one of the most refreshing beverage,
Right.
and people consume it like a water.
Daily.
And I have never thought of it that caffeine has so much of tendency that it can cause.
Devastating effects. Yeah. So, not all, like as you said, people are drinking it as water, but not everyone. Like obviously, they don't experience these effects, and that is why they are drinking it so frequently. So again, I think it is to do with their genes, right? And I have also, like when I was looking for solutions for migraine, I also came across one thing that, there is tendency that people with migraine do consume a lot of caffeine. So instead of cutting that entire intake back, we can, use it as a remedy. So like instead of cutting it down absolute to zero, like even 1 cup can actually be helpful in managing the migraine attacks. So about the limitations, like did you come across anything that wasn't there?
So for me, I was not able to find enough research papers related to this topic, even if the population which they gathered for study was actually low. So several papers have actually said at the end that that there was a limitation, that they don't have enough sample size.
Okay.
So that was kind of
that is quite
limitation.
Surprising, actually,
Yeah.
looking at the fact that how many people are drinking
Exactly.
caffeine.
Apart from that, they have also mentioned certain future aspects related to, so that more studies has to be conducted on this
Right.
with huge population size, so that you can balance out everything with all the statistical data, and you will have a good relevant data for you, which is convincing enough.
Okay, more reliable.
Yeah.
Right. So I think when we talk about future prospects, I think there are also a few genes targeted to understand, to study the caffeine metabolism. I think we can,
Explore
deep
that,
dive
yeah.
in the next
Yeah.
episode. And yes, so let us know if you'd like to learn more about caffeine metabolism, nutrigenomics, genetics, or if any food that you think, does it have any genetic predisposition or not. So I think that would be a good area
Right.
to uncover.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you, Sahara, for being here with us today. So it was really an interesting topic, and we would like you all to come up with a few questions like these, or any thoughts, any questions that you come across and you ponder that, okay, I want to, maybe you want to contribute here, and you would want answers a few questions with us. We would appreciate that. So thank you for attending this episode, listening to this episode, and watching this video. So go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and follow our podcast. And we would like to talk to you. We would like to get to know you and understand what exactly excites you, like genetic does to us. Okay. Thank you, Sahara. Thank you all.